Alright guys, here are the 5 tips and tricks to get a perfect watermelon for your season. So first things first, as you can see, these are slightly transplanted, and then one of them is directly sowed. This one is direct sowed, and the rest are all transplant. You can do both, but as you can tell, one is going to be slower than the other, but they are eventually going to start catching up. And don't worry about the leaves. In my case, this is just the breed of the watermelon, and it's no disease, so we're all good. So don't worry in the comments about the watermelon, even though this one doesn't really have the spots, but it's just a moon and a star watermelon. So let's get really into the video. But if you are planting your watermelon directly, like in the soil without transplanting it, they will germinate in about 68 to 95 degrees in the soil. So that means if your soil is not that warm in your bed or in the ground, that means they probably won't germinate, and that's probably why these two didn't really make it, and that's why there's only one. They will eventually sprout around 5 to 7 days if you're lucky enough in your soil temperature. Are direct sowing your little watermelons, you do want to place them about 1 inch deep and about 3 to 6 inches apart, just because once they do start growing their actual vines, they do get a little out of control and kind of get tangled up in each other. So you want to have enough space between your plant. Of course, because they are watermelons, you do want to have nice loose soil so they can get enough water into their roots. So make sure you have good drainage if you're planting them in like pots or something like that, or in raised beds. Typically watermelon do like a little bit of sand in their soil, just because they are like have to spread their roots easily into the soil, so the sand will like help them with that. So while we're next to our little flowers, of course we need the actual pollination to happen. So like your cucumbers and what other vining plants have a male and female flower, and of course you need the female flowers to get the fruit. So males is every node of the plant, and then the females is every 7 nodes of the plant. For it to be perfectly pollinated, a bumblebee or any insects in this case have to fly by and pollinate this one flower at least 7 to 8 times before it actually starts the watermelon in this instant. And the males will only last a day, and then their flowers are gone, as you can tell in this flower. If you don't have any like insects to pollinate it, you probably want to make sure that you have like sunflowers nearby or any flowers to attract them. Probably in the next few days, or hopefully week, little sunflower plants that I planted will slowly emerge in this section, so hopefully that will help with the pollination with our watermelons. Another thing to know about your watermelon, when they are starting to fruit, you do want to fertilize them every week or two, just to give them enough like boost to get the fruit quicker. The last thing is, when you do water, you only want to make sure that you water right by the roots or by the stem, because of course, hence by the name watermelon, they do take in a lot of water, since they are about 97% water, so they do require a lot of water. And believe it or not, unlike pumpkins, you do not want to water the entire vine, because like pumpkins, they will like root wherever the stem is, but in this case watermelon does not, so you're just spreading like unwanted diseases to your vine, which might kill the plant, unfortunately. So just make sure that you heavily water by the stem so the roots can like soak in the water quick enough. If we dig right below where the roots are, you can clearly tell how dark the soil is, which is how moist the soil is. So right now it's pretty good, but it's gonna rain again later, so it's gonna be extra happy. And typically you want to water them about once a week and then slow down once the fruit starts to form, just because you don't want to like accidentally crack it or bust a whole watermelon, and then all that time is useless. So with all that being said, hopefully you like this video, and as always, keep on growing.